Good morning. Today is April 17th, 2021, and I've got a project for you. Well, actually, it's for me, and it's going to be quite extensive. You see, I've had some issues with my cell tower at Camp Flat Rock. That's what I call it. Another example why we call it Camp Flat Rock. So I dropped this rock on the ground today, and it split right open. And so I have to pour some concrete. Well, the concrete man said it's going to cost $180 for delivery unless you come up with an additional need for about 3.5 yards. So I came up with another project, and that project includes another 6 yards. So I need total about 7. At any rate, as you can see behind me on the ground here, that's the cell tower base. And what's laying at my feet right here is the actual cell tower. I raise and lower this with a winch, one person, just me and my thumb. I push a remote control button and it raises it up or it takes it down. At any rate, that's another video completely. That line that comes from that base over there actually goes underground. And it goes into my trailer right here. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you should be able to see it right there. So that goes into the ground, and I'm gonna have to dig that up, and then I'm going to also have to move this post that sticks up out of the ground where eventually the trailer would be plugged into. And the reason I'm doing all that is because I want to move that trailer out of there and I want to pour concrete. That's my extra project. That's my extra cement that I need. So that's about 6 yards right there. So it's 36 feet long, 14 feet wide. I'm gonna have to dig up these lines, and I'm also gonna have to put a new line in because I want to put a antenna for the Wi-Fi booster in my 36 by 12 shed over there. So I've got a lot of work cut out within the next week. That's what I'm planning. It'll be 1 week that I'm able to do all of this, and with the help of a friend, and he has a backhoe and also like a front end loader on his tractor. So that's going to be an essential part of this project. Without those two things, I wouldn't be able to do this. So I'll let you know how this all turns out, and we'll take some video as we move along. Well, after 45 minutes of digging, this is what I ended up with. So it's about 1 foot deep, and I made it just past the footing for the RV shelter. And my plan is to cut this pipe off and remove the section from there all the way up to the trailer. But first, I'll start by cutting sections of it off. Until I get down to the bottom, I'll be able to pull it up out of the dirt, cut it better with a cutting wheel, and then keep pulling the pipe up until finally I can maybe lop off a piece right around in that area, about 1 foot or so past the footing for the RV shelter. Good morning. Today is April 18th, 2021, and I'm making a report on the progress that I had yesterday. I got quite a few things done, actually. The gas line to the trailer was a copper pipe, 1/2 inch, that ran up to the tanks on the front of the trailer, where I put in a union so that it'll accept the outside source of gas. I was able to disconnect that and close that tube off and put the 2 tanks back on, so now the trailer does have LP so I can keep it heated. I also disconnected the Wi-Fi cable that ran into the trailer, which is actually not a Wi-Fi cable but a coax for an antenna on my cell tower. And then the rotor wire that also went with that, so I can turn that rotor on the top of the antenna. And then I also had a 30 amp service that was a pole sticking up out of the ground that runs back to the shed, and that was also moved. So this is what I've done. The pole now for the 30 amp service is right over here on the corner. The pole that's going up from, this is one on the outside right here, is actually going to be where the cables will go back into the trailer once the project's done. I did try to move this trailer, and I don't know if you can see that or not on the ground there, but there are 4 track marks from the UTV. I could not budge that trailer. The tires are sunk into the ground, so I'm going to have to hook up my 4-wheel drive pickup and try moving it forward. Well, the trailer got pulled out from underneath the RV port just fine. Now I'm fixing these brackets that I had made earlier. They're going to go up on the uprights so that the cement goes over the top of them and it holds the canopy, the RV port, down. I'm going to show you real quick here what the bolts that are holding it down right now. They're basically nothing more than anchors pounded into the ground. They do not look well. So the last time I was up here, I actually pounded these down even into the ground, and I came back up, and within a matter of 2 weeks, they're back up again. This thing is like a giant kite. It actually gets lifted up in the air, and it's pulling these things up. This is what I think the answer is. I made these brackets, and they're going to be attached to these uprights here. I've got 4 for each side. After adding them, I'm going to pour concrete on top of them, and that should hold this down.